Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
DJ Keo, thanks for joining us again. So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Do you think that this is like the peak for superheroes and it's going to the decline now? It's only going to go downhill from here on out?
For superhero shows on Netflix or just in the
Just in
sphere?
general, superhero shows and movies and stuff. Because there's a lot of superhero shows. There's a
Yeah.
lot. And
Okay.
movies and everything.
All right.
They're all the
So,
tinfoil.
right. I think that's a good question. I think that, superheroes only do one thing, right? They save the
Mhm.
world, right? They go in
Yeah.
and they beat up the bad guys. They make sure you don't rip off banks and things like that. I don't see what else a superhero could do.
Yeah.
Which is if you really think about it, right? Which is why I keep bringing up Invincible, the Amazon animated show. I mean, this guy he comes from a world where these superheroes conquer worlds, right?
Mhm.
They're like, okay, you're bad, so we're gonna make your world better, right? So I
Mhm.
think that in terms of superhero shows and movies and things like that, you see one, you've seen them all. I mean, I sort of like this is something else they did. I sort of like what they were doing with Luke Cage, what Netflix was doing with Luke Cage. I think to put sort of, put that superhero in a regular sort of setting where they're going to work, they're doing all
Mhm.
sorts of things. Luke Cage was done really well, but you know what? They canceled it. They left it
Well,
open and they canceled it.
yeah, Netflix is trying to get the rights back, and I think, no, I mean, Marvel was trying to get the rights back for Disney, and Netflix was like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
because it was doing well. Daredevil was doing great. That last
Yeah.
season was amazing. I liked it.
What's
Punisher
the
was
other
doing
show
good.
that the show before Luke Cage
So
that
they had the Iron Fist. That was terrible. That was
no
really
the other
bad.
the girl
Oh, the Jessica Jones.
Jessica
That
Jones,
was a good.
right,
First season was good. Second season, not so much.
garbage, and
Showrun. That's a showrunner thing.
right, and see that's what I'm saying, it's like you can't put so much, you can't put too much emphasis on the sexuality, right, of a specific star in a show, because then you have to come the second season and the third season. I watched like
Like
2 episodes of the second season. I was done. But
Jessica Jones, I'll say this, right? I've
mhm,
read Jessica Jones comic books.
mhm,
That is very faithful to how the comic book is, at least the
mhm,
first season.
mhm.
Second season was hot garbage because it was all over the place, and they killed her top villain.
Mhm.
It's like killing the Joker, or you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
Iron Man killing the Mandarin. Like this is your villain. This is your person that you beat. You can't get rid of them off the first show. They
Mhm.
probably should have kept them alive, but like that's the issue with Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel kills off all of their top villains for their series and their movies, and there's nowhere to go after that. The best part of the show or the movie you get rid of. It blows my mind. I don't know why they keep doing it.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about where are we going with these like
I think
superhero shows? I mean,
I
you
think
think
we're
we're
at the peak
done?
here now. I
I
think
think
we're at
we
the
are
peak.
too.
I think it's on the decline right now,
How
and
can you make the next fabulous, the most interesting, the dopest superhero flick or a series? How could that be different if we're at the peak? I mean, it's just like again, we know what superheroes do.
well, I think that Marvel Endgame kind of ruined it for everybody because there was a conclusion to that story.
Mhm.
It should have been. I don't think it should have been conclusion. They should have left it wide open so they can keep doing the movies after that.
Right.
People felt Endgame is here. I spent my 10 or whatever years watching all of these movies. I saw all 20 something movies and I'm done. So like it felt like that was a conclusion to an era. You know, you had your decade of watching this thing and then now it's
Right.
over.
Mm.
And so like that mentality of people is kind of like, I'm over this. So like The Boys was a unique take on the superhero genre. It's
Mm.
saying what if these things are corporate? What if these guys they're delinquents? They're terrible people. We got a show like that. Then you got Invincible. Well, what happens if the superhero is lying to everybody? He's really here to conquer everybody. Okay, we got a show like that. Now
Yeah.
we got a show talking about politics and the economy with
Right.
Jupiter's Legacy. You have like the Justice League. They're doing, well, what happens if Superman goes bad because Lois dies? Like, you have a whole other thing over here, and like they're doing all these different takes because you can't just do the straight, hey, I'm I'm a superhero, let me
Right.
save this cat out of a tree.
Yeah.
I think people are done with that concept. They need a little bit more edge on their thing. Like, it's got to be rated R or at least mature.
Mm.
Like, people want that. They want to see more violence and more car chases or whatever. They need a little bit extra. Doing the basics is all over. That's done with everybody. I think we're at the point now where it's like you had the zombie stuff.
Mm.
There is a point in time where there's nothing but zombie movies and
I'm
TV
zombied
shows.
out. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's zombied out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a little break, and then people are like, yeah, I could watch something with a little zombie. But like, when Walking Dead came out, that's all was out. It was just
That's it.
zombie this, zombie that. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many movies with it, and everything has their peak. Now, the question I have for you is, what do you think is going to replace it?
Oh, okay. Replace Jupiter's Legacy.
No, like, I mean, just like the genre of superheroes.
Oh,
What's going to replace that?
um, you know, okay. So if you look at Netflix, they are starting to release a lot more shows and films and movies from specific different countries in their native language. Like Lupin is in
Yeah,
French.
yeah.
And that's a really intriguing sort of show, right? Um, I think that like the superhero stuff is sort of, it comes from like I don't know if that's an American thing or not, but I think like we grew up watching superheroes as cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Robin. That kind of evolved into things like you know the Transformers, the Star Wars stuff, the Star Trek stuff. So, now it's a bit more techy and geeky. I think the techy and geeky stuff is going to take over. I think more stuff like more things that have to do with like AI intrigue and, sort of just very intricate sort of like tech movies. You ever watch a show on Hulu called Devs?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Dude, okay, listen. I'm
All right, I'm putting it on the list. I'm gonna add it to the
dude,
list.
listen. Devs is forget it. It is
Mm-hmm.
listen, Devs.
Okay.
It is sick. And it's a highbrow sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
Silicon Valley tech, intrigue, murder, like sex,
Mm-hmm.
corruption. It is serious. It's serious. I
Mm-hmm.
think so. I wasn't really a big sort of superheroes, sort of person anyway. Again, we grew up looking at this stuff and we liked it, right? But today,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, I think I've seen everything, right? I think I've seen
Yeah.
everything when it comes to like these sort of, Marvel and superhero shows. I would have loved to have seen the second season of Jupiter's Legacy. You asked me if I think it's going to come back. Do you think at some point the second season of Jupiter's
Legacy?
Legacy will come
No,
back?
I think it's done. I think it's
It's
done.
done. Do you think
Yeah.
maybe they would just come out with a movie or something or an animated series or what?
Maybe anime series, but I
Mhm.
think as the show, because once you cancel, they start destroying sets and stuff,
That's it.
and
That's
people
it.
start doing other movies and projects. Like, it makes it more complicated to bring people back after you do it. Like with the Expanse, they canceled the show and it was immediately picked up by Amazon, so they
Yeah.
didn't lose anything.
Hmm.
Because if they had to rebuild the sets, that would have been a huge problem.
Right.
But they were able to keep what they had and just go right into the next season. Everything was stayed on schedule. They just cut different checks or whatever. So, if you do that, then okay, you might have something there.
Hmm.
But I think that show in particular is done. I do feel like you're right. I think that we're probably going to go into some kind of sci-fi techie thing.
I
Like, I
think
was
that's
just
the move.
watching
Mhm.
this past week I rewatched Blade Runner 2049,
Mhm.
and I rewatched what's that movie with Tom Cruise, the one with the precogs, Minority Report.
I think Minority Report sort of like just started it all.
That was a great
I mean,
movie.
he was doing iPad flicks before the iPad even came out. Like iPad swipes. I was just like, look at this is all here. But
Yeah,
I think that's right. I think that right now the super duper intriguing movies are either going to be like super duper spy flicks. I can't wait until the next James Bond flick comes out.
mhm,
And you can just add on to the James. I mean, James Bond that's Hall of Fame all day. You can't go wrong with James Bond.
yeah.
Like I said, shows like Lupin, that's pretty cool. Devs, I think those like tech technologically advanced sort of movies and shows are going to actually hit it off. They are going to be the ones that are
Well,
kind of
here's the
cool.
thing, though. These kind of techie shows, they're super niche. Like I thought when I saw Blade Runner,
Mhm.
I thought that, oh, that's gonna be phenomenal. Like the visuals are crazy. Everybody came back. The
Right.
cast is solid. The
Hmm.
story's intriguing. I saw that opening night and I was like, oh man, this is gonna do well.
It's pretty
It
dope,
did
right?
not do well.
Yeah.
It bombed. And like there's very people, they don't like the cyberpunk, that kind of stuff. I don't think people really like it.
Hmm.
As a not I gotta preface this with saying, as a broad mainstream thing, I don't think
Hmm.
people like it because cyberpunk is noir. Like it is dark, it's depressing,
Yeah.
it's raining all the time, and your future is miserable.
Hmm.
People like the Star Trek future of, yeah, no, we had a little war, but we figured it out, and everybody's
Right.
good. We
Hmm.
get there's food everywhere. We got transporters, we got phasers, everything's super awesome. We're going around space. The future that's probably most likely is the cyberpunk future, and is dark and depressing, and people don't like it. When they see it, they're like, ah, my goodness.
It's more
I don't know.
realistic too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
if
it's
you
super dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of these, like again, these just high end, sort of highbrow tech flicks. It's just there's a lot of realism to them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
it's super real. A lot of stuff in
mhm,
these things, these movies, like the old movies, they're coming to pass right now,
mhm,
or we're on the way to there.
yeah,
With the like food and like we're there. We're running out of electricity. We're there. Like a lot of stuff is kind of, we're on the precipice of these kind of things. And I think that a lot of people like watching stuff. I'm talking about the general public, not the techie people who are watching this video right now.
I love that.
The general public,
Yeah, mhm.
they like a lighthearted romp and everyone's having fun and then they go get ice cream after. They like
But you
that
know
stuff.
what? We're gonna get those. So those sort of coming of age flicks. And even again,
Mhm.
even like the superhero flicks, they will still be here. They're going to be the same old. But I think again, some of the more interesting sort of flicks where it's just it's something totally
the
different.
the thought provoking,
Yeah.
gender twisting, super, it's just a new take on whatever.
Right. Hmm.
Those are harder to sell, but I want more of them. Did you see this show called Firefly? It came out like 90s. This is a
Um.
Joss Whedon show. It's about
No. Hmm.
it's about
What
the
is it
space
about?
travel.
Okay.
They're like kind of like bounty hunters or whatever. Like it's kind of hard
Hmm.
to explain, but like they're out in the world doing their thing, and they're in space, and the show is phenomenal. Fox ruined the show, and they put out a movie, and the movie was phenomenal too.
Hmm.
But that thing, like people couldn't get into it, but it was a cool show. The concept was cool. I liked the concept, and it was a take on the Wild West and future
Yeah.
stuff. So
Hmm.
it had that vibe of a Wild West thing. They had guns like the Wild West, and it was a cool vibe. Like these guys are transporting things back and forth. It was a cool vibe. I like the show, but people couldn't get into the show. Maybe it came out too far in before its time. But Serenity was a great movie. and for some reason people couldn't get into it. I don't know.
But you know what? That's fine, because like today, you can release a movie like that, put it on a streaming service, and you're fine. So your budget isn't that large, the whole nine. I mean, if you just take a series like the Expanse, which is an awesome flick, and even we were talking about Krypton, which Krypton was just completely amazing to me. That's sort of superhero-esque, right? But just it's evolved a little bit.
It's Superman's grandfather. It's super. It's there. It's definitely.
But they took it to a different level. So so there you go, Krypton, right? Again, which was, I think that was a sci-fi or TNT show or something like that.
Yeah.
They took that superhero sort of vibe, and dude, they just totally put a little twist on it and made it work. So now it's not like, oh, this is a superhero thing. Krypton was a place. It wasn't like this man flying around,
Yeah,
they were getting around like in transports and things like that. Right, exactly.
Yeah, but before the world got destroyed.
Exactly.
It was an interesting take. Like if superheroes go on from here on out, I would like a different aspect of stuff, or get in there and start doing these other stories. Like we have the Green Lanterns, like do a Green Lanterns show.
Yeah.
Move past Batman and Superman or Iron Man and Captain America.
Hulk, yeah, just
and the Hulk. Like go past that. Let's try. There's the comic books is thousands of superheroes. There's so many to choose from.
I mean, I wasn't like into comic books. I didn't even know, there was like a Luke Cage. I didn't know that was a comic book hero. I didn't know all that stuff.
70s, I think. And Black Panthers were in the 60s.
Man, I was not a comic book person, man. I was like, I think even as early as like, 8 or 9, I was just into records, vinyl. Those are sort of things I read.
Casual. Like I don't pretend like I'm some great wealth of. I'm a casual when it comes to comic, but like I'm the type of person. If I see something that I like, I want to know more about it. And so I'll consume any kind of content I can get about, like, Batman's my favorite superhero of all time. So like anything related to Batman, I need to know about. I'll play video games, I'll read the books, whatever I can get about Batman, I gotta watch or whatever. So that's the kind of thing for me. If I see something interesting, I'll check out or just get a little bit more information about what it's about or whatever. And that's really what. But I compare myself to be a casual in the audience. I'm not hardcore in it like a lot of these other people are on the internet. We're definitely. I think that for us talking about a lot of these shows and stuff, we're from the perspective of the regular people who watch this stuff, not the people who are the diehard super fans that are living, breathing. They got their tattoo of Superman on their arm, like that kind of group. Yeah. We're not that. We're your regular people. Like that enjoy this stuff like you do, and I think that we tell it from a perspective of what everybody else is thinking about these things as well. And this is why we look at a show like Jupiter's Legacy and it gets canceled. I'm like, this is why it didn't appeal to us. We're the regular people, and we even still it didn't appeal to us, but we still tried to watch it. And I would watch another season of it.
I would definitely watch another season of it. Well, folks, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I'm DJ Keo.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us. And until next time, peace.
All right.